I think what I'd really like to do today is grab the boat and go down to the lake, play around with the boat and the boat motor and all that. But, and this is an important, very important but we got to leave and go back to Maine in about 8-9 days. And I just bought this trailer and I washed it out yesterday. I need to pop both the wheel hubs off, check the bearings, make sure the lug nuts are able to be tightened and loosened, make sure the tires are okay. Yeah, things like that. So, there's a reason why I decided to take the wheels off. If you ever been on the road and had a flat tire and had to change it with a wrench and had a lug nut that wouldn't come off, that's why. And here is a good example. This lug nut wouldn't come off and it actually broke off and it's hot. So I got to replace this stud and go to town and get me a new lug nut for that. So what I'll do is, and I will grease this up. It has a grease fitting which should allow me just to be able to grease it without any problem, without having to even take it off. And if that works, it'll work. Let's try that. And what I'll probably do is prop this side up, jack the other side up, take it off too, just to see if I'm going to break any of them off while I'm at it. These lug nuts, these studs will basically hit that with a hammer and it'll pop out. So I'll do that right now. I want to use a big hammer for that. Helps if you don't hit anything else. That'd be better. There it goes. Under there. This is what it looks like when it's not broke, or when it's out. I guess it is broke, but you know what I mean. Looks like that. Now the way these are supposed to work when you grease these hubs like this is, once there's enough grease in there, it's supposed to push grease out into this cup where you can see it. This isn't doing that so far, but it may be. Maybe that it's stopped up and needs to be like that little ball on the end of that receptor there. It'll be stuck. It happens sometimes. I might pull that off of there. You know, I'd rather have a look at the bearings and trust that that's going in there enough to do what I want it to do. Good sized axle nut there, and that's a good sized axle. That should be a pretty good heavy trailer with an axle that big. It's a nice big axle. It should hold plenty. Anybody was just asking me the other day about what is the weight ratio of this thing, so it gives me a lot better idea. Now I'm gonna I think what's happening is when I squirt this grease in, it's not going in. It should come out a little hole inside here, out back here actually. Let's see if that's gonna work. Let's see if that's gonna happen. I don't think it is, otherwise it'd be grease in there already. Yeah, I'm not getting no grease out of the hole. I think what I'll probably do is instead is just grease this by hand, grease these bearings myself. But I think I'll leave this just like it is, because I ought to repaint this while I'm here and clean this up. So I'm going to set a block under it and go to the other side. Right away on this side, I see that somebody's put these lug nuts on backwards. That's usually what you'll do once your wheel holes woggle out, and your wheel holes will woggle out if you run it down the road with loose lug nuts. And these are all rusty too, so yeah, it's a good idea to do these too. I'll probably break off 2 or 3 of these also, but break them off before we go to town. This one's bearing sounds good. Let's see how many of these we break this time. Came off good. Good. The wheels don't look bad. I don't know why they put the lug nut on there backwards. Looks okay to me. I don't see any grease coming out though. Could be that I ran out here. And it does happen. Yeah. Yep, there's no grease in that, so well, there is some inside, so maybe it was going inside. Yeah, we'll look at that. I didn't film a lot more. In fact, I didn't film any more after the last time you saw me. I did pack the bearings. I cleaned out the grease tunnel so that I could squirt grease in through the grease nipple on the end of the axle. Put them back on, readjusted the bearings, replaced the broken lug stud, and loosened all the lug nuts and tightened them correctly so that they wouldn't be a problem if we have a flat going down the road. And I climbed on top and flex sealed all the cracks in the roof for watertightness. And I put the tag on it. And I got one more thing to do. Wash these tires that came off it. I might paint them tomorrow. And I have to put this piece back on there tomorrow. So that's on my tomorrow list. My today list is done. And I'm gonna I'll set these up so the water can run out of them. In fact, I could just flip them over. And I might get some paint and paint those tomorrow. Oh, that's a Goodyear Marathon right there. Bless its heart. Okay, I'm done. I'm done for the day. I'm all sweaty and I'm done for the day. Yeehaw.